Well, I mean, overall, this is fascinating, and I have a theory to share with you guys that's really cool and intense. First of all, this is Dr. Chef's Crypto. This is Dr. Chef, and welcome to the video. It'll be a quick one. I just want to look at something real fast. Not an official financial advisor. This is not financial advice, education and entertainment only. And we've been following a macro pattern now for 2 straight years, because we know that if this macro pattern holds, then we're going to know when all-time lows are and also all-time highs. And if we know that, then of course we can track those patterns, make the proper investments, do our research, and make a whole bunch of money. So that's what we're working on. When I said to everyone that there was going to be a 20-something thousand Bitcoin this year, and Bitcoin was sitting in the 50s and 60s, everybody said I was nuts. So let's just take a look. So there we are today, right now, in May 12th, 11 a.m., 29,000. Now, Bitcoin actually touched 26,000. You can see the 1 day here. Here's the 7 day. Okay? And that bottom right there, right about 26 and some change. If you look at a month, you'll notice that's the big dip. If you look at 3 months, same, and 1 year, this is that section of all-time highs and amazing stuff that happened in 21. And this is us back here in 29, and that is 7/19/21. So the question is, are we in a pattern that makes sense? Is this confusing to people? Well, first of all, I'll tell you that the normal people have completely gone insane. About 90% of the crypto world. You have had Luna collapse, UST collapse, and you've got the bottom falling out all over the place in all of crypto, which means that people are, of course, panicked. But that's really not how this works. Now, I have a theory, and it's going to sound a little weird, but work with me here. Let me go back to the camera. So, okay. 2021, the all-time high was November. We've talked about how about a year after the all-time high, you would have an all-time low. That's the all-time low between the 2 all-time highs, and then you wait through another year patiently until you get to a halving. It starts to come up after the halving, and your all-time high is 16 to 18 months after the halving. We've talked about that many times. There's plenty of videos on here about that. Please feel free to watch those. But we knew there were going to be a 20-something Bitcoin by the end of the year in November, December. Why is it happening now? It seems to be a little early. Well, we go back to the charts and the records, and we discover that there were less than 50% hits in this time frame in previous cycles in 14. For instance, one of the guys wrote an article today about how this is the biggest drop since 2014, which made me giggle, because we've known for a year or two now that 2014 equals 2018 equals 2022. So to reference 2014 about 2022 is very accurate and interesting. Anyway, what's happening is in May of 21, we had an all-time high period, and it was passed in November for the all-time high for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most of the coins. However, a lot of the alts have their all-time high in May of 21 because we had a very big spike. If the pattern is really specifically tracking, like really specifically, it would mean that a year after the all-time high we would have the all-time low. Well, that would mean theoretically, and this is my theory I was talking about, theoretically that would mean that we would have a really close to an all-time low in May, just like we had really close to an all-time high in May a year ago. I didn't expect that. I thought that we'd probably stay in the low 30s, but when we dipped below 30, we did bounce off of 30 twice before we dipped below 30. But when we dipped into the 20s, I thought, wow, this is neat, because this means it's tracking exactly a year later. Okay, if this is true, then it means the pattern is even more exact and specific than we previously thought. This macro pattern is ruling everything, and none of the other stuff that's happening even matters. But one of the things it means is that we should go back up, and that's why I was encouraged to see 29,000 Bitcoin today. If we go back up into the 30s and we hold 30s, even 40s in June, July, August, September, something in the 30s, but then we fall again in the 20s, September, October, November, and we come back down to the mid-20s by the end of the year, or even low 20s, then we really have a double confirmation in 2022 that this pattern is holding. Now, if it continues to drop, if it goes down to below 20 at some point, then we know our pattern's been broken. If it goes back up to over 50, we know our pattern's been broken. But as it stands, what we have here is the negative echo of last May. Last May was a very big positive time, very bullish market, all-time highs for many coins. Settled down a little bit over the summer, then all-time high for all time in November. If we track that in the negative space in 22, and we see pretty close to all-time lows right here, it goes back up for a little while and then it goes really down even lower in November, we're really going to have confirmation of the pattern, like double confirmation. So I just wanted to point out that when I said we're going to have 20-something Bitcoin, everybody thought I was stupid. And now, of course, we're in 20-something Bitcoin. Everybody thinks I'm a genius. But either way, it doesn't matter to me. What I'm trying to do is track this pattern, because if I can hit this pattern right, it can turn into something very, very big and very, very good. So, that's it. Dr. Chef's Crypto. This is Dr. Chef, and I will see you soon. If you care at all about financial institutions and trends and crypto and anything like that, what we're tracking here is a very big deal. So we probably ought to share that with our friends. Maybe send that a link or post that or something, like and share that. But I can't tell you what to do, except this has been a pretty amazing time right now. Everyone else is panicked and it's extreme fear for the last week, like everybody's just destroyed. But for me, it's very good news, and for people that are tracking the macro pattern, it's a very good news and very interesting news. All right, we'll talk later. Thank you.